Hello again. Hello again. As you can see, I'm still playing in the foliage and the trunks, doing a bit of this and a bit of that. I've decided to allow more of the trunk in this tree to come a little bit higher. I'm not worried about the underwash, you know. It's dark. That's all I need. I need it to be a bit dark. So I think what I'll do is just... Oh. What I'll do is put a little raw umber on my palette because I'm going to need some of that. I want to knock down the strength of the burnt sienna that I'm going to use on the trunks. And yeah, so I'm using burnt sienna and raw umber and bits of ultramarine blue here and there mixed in with that. I don't want things to get too lively. I don't want it to be important. I just need it to have presence. You know, like Christmas presents, only less fun. Okay. Still changing the color a little bit from one side to the other. Just to keep the trunk interesting. Need a little bit of interest in there. What am I doing here? My road's very busy today. They have alternate routes from a large subdivision, again closed off because they are, I don't know what they're doing on the road now. I just know that it's going to take forever because it involves bureaucracy and a corporation. How's that for keeping it vague? And people get used to not taking the alternate routes or the other routes, the regular routes, because they know they're going to have to wait in line with flag people. And they know that they can take this road to get where they're going more quickly. Okay, that's quite a bit of blithering. Maybe I'll just be quiet now. Give that a little more light. Okay. So again, you know, it's another day of not terribly interesting video, but well, this is stuff that has to be done. So we're doing it. Kind of funny using a knife, especially on a fairly heavily textured canvas, one which has a little more tooth than I like. It's amazing how quickly your knife depletes its load. And every canvas is a little bit different. And so you have to bear that in mind when you're painting on all these different canvases, because some will In some cases that load of paint is gone immediately, and in others it seems to stick around for a while. And you gotta compensate. You kind of have to think on your feet while you're doing it. Okay, make that a little bluer. I don't want the dark side to be too dark. I don't want the dark side of anything in this area to be too dark. Because I don't want those contrasting values in an area that I don't want to draw attention to. Contrasting values means drama. And drama draws your attention. And as I mentioned, I want attention not to be drawn to this area. You know, sometimes during some parts of the day, on some days, it's still pretty quiet here. But today's not one of them. I think as you can hear, 30 seconds don't go by without another vehicle going by. Okay, let me just broaden my view here a little bit. Why am I zooming in? I said broaden my view. And honestly, I come this close sometimes to standing on the road and just yelling, "Shut up! Go away! Find another road!" Which, unfortunately, would not yield productive results. So I don't really ever do that. I'm not going to move. I'm just going to hope that things calm down as the summer goes on. As we all know, these days, unless you bought a house when you were 20 years old, good luck affording one now. And that goes for finding a place to rent as well. And we rent here. I don't own a home. Never planned to live here for any great length of time. I don't like it. It's just saturated with people. Not that I have anything against people individually, but I sure don't like being around large numbers of them. I had a friend actually years ago who he would come to visit. He was from Vancouver, the city of Vancouver in British Columbia. And he had a condo downtown. He had several condos and high rises downtown. And when he would come to visit, for an overnight or you know, for a meal or whatever, he wouldn't go back the same day because it was just a lot of driving and just kind of a nuisance dealing with the traffic and what have you. So he'd come out and spend the night, and he would need to have, I remember this one place that I lived, he would need to have the curtains open in the living room because he felt very, well, he felt anxious if he couldn't see traffic on the highway, on the freeway, on the number one highway, which was at that point in that place, it was still a mile and a half away, but he just needed that comfort. And I've come across quite a few people who love that. They need to have that feeling that somebody's around. There's nothing I like more than knowing that nobody's around. I guess it's the artsy fartsy part of me. Okay, bringing in a little more strength now. Some stronger color. And it's not the same colors I used in the sky. But they're mighty neighborly, aren't they? They're pretty close. But the sky is alizarin crimson and yellow ochre. The trunks contain ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. I know you might find this boring, but I'm just gonna keep the camera going until we've got these two trunks in place. Should have left this little line a little bit thicker. It's okay. I have a remedy for that. I'll just come back and make it a little thicker. I was going to use raw umber to temper this, but I'm actually just sticking with my ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. Okay, that's fairly subdued. That's quite subdued, I think. We won't worry about that. But what I am going to do, it's the kind of thing that when I'm looking at my painting later, I might not notice this little stretch of line. Then later, when somebody else sees it, they'll go, "Oh, I like that, but it seems inconsistent because there wasn't, I should have completed that. I should have completed that bit of line there." The truth is, I don't complete the line all over the place. Many places that black line is not showing. But in that spot, I wanted to bring it back. Okay. That's all right. I could bring more life to them, but I know that I have work to do back here. I know that. I know that this is fine, this is nice, that's the strength, but I want to bring more light back into... Can you even see where I'm... Okay. You get carried away. I forget that you can only, that I focused in so far. I know that this is the strong point, right? But I don't want this to die off too much. I still feel, you know, I have this indication of a possible closer stand of trees here. I'm going to bring more light to it, more life to it. I may even bring a little more light back in here. So I don't want these trees to be, these trunks to be too light. I want them to remain part of, as I said, general murmur. I'll square the camera off for a moment so that you can actually see again. What I'm looking at there. That's what we just did. Light's still coming from the left, but vaguely. Let me back that camera off. So you can see also that I really painted the top of this tree. I decided to run it right off the canvas. I wouldn't do that if it was just a strong trunk, but the foliage breaks things up enough, and I wanted this space open that I felt I could get away with it. So I've literally painted it out of the picture, the top of it. As you can see, I've opened this up quite a bit. There's still some design, there's still some foliage, but not much. It's a little more scattered, but still enough there for content. But it doesn't block your view. To me, it just feels freer back there now. Okay, anyway, again, not a whole lot today, but it's something. And something's better than nothing. Have a good weekend, guys. See ya.